Our bodies with cat-cow to start. Let's see how we're feeling today. So untucking the toes from the heels. Angry cat, spine to ceiling, feeling that stretch in the back. I'm going the opposite way for the cow. Exhaling the cat. Starting off with a limited range of movement and then building on it as you go further into that stretch. In the cow, you can feel the stretch in the abs. So a small gap between each knee coming down into child's pose. Forehead to the mat, or as close as you can to it, and your bum cheeks are just on your heels of your feet. Spine stretch, cat out into half plank, shoulders down away from ears, and palms of the hands are directly under the shoulder. Cat stretch out of it, taking your time, back into child's pose. Keeping strength in these arms, so they're extended. Cat stretch out again. Try and cat stretch back. Exhale as you come into child's pose. Inhale into half plank. Rib cage in, belly button into spine. Into the half plank. This time I'm going to come down as close to the mat as you can in a bit of a push up. Even if it's a small range of movement, elbows to the back of the room, don't worry about it. You're still working the same muscles if you're not able to get right down. Try and make sure your hips come down at the same time as your chest. It doesn't matter how far down you go. To isolate the triceps, the back of the arm, keep your elbows tucked into the side. Nice and controlled. Going for 10. Keep that cat stretch up. Push-ups are hard, so if you're struggling, don't feel bad about it. And as women, we don't tend to have a lot of upper body strength unless you work it. And for men, it's the other way. They're not so strong in the lower body, whereas we tend to be stronger in our lower. So you should start to feel a pinching or a cramping at the back of the arm, the triceps, after a few of these. That's what we're looking for, that's what we want. Might be a burning in the shoulders, wherever any weaknesses are. Looking for 10 full depth or pulses. Gets the heart rate up. Exhale. Good, and then the last one, come back into child's pose, good. And you can shake them wrists off, the wrist circles. Good. So we're looking to tone the arms and strengthen the shoulders today. That's the goal. I'm going to do that again. Cat stretch out of child's pose. As many as you can again, or another 10. There's no pressure. I just want you to feel it maybe in your shoulders or the back of the arm or your chest if your elbows are coming out. Good, just take your time. Quality over quantity. You can pause halfway through, shake off, and then back into a couple more to build strength and endurance. Failure's good, it means that you've overloaded them muscles for change to take effect in the body, whether that's becoming stronger, leaner, toned. One more, and back. Good. Hopefully the back of your arms are feeling a bit tight now. Wrist circles if that feels good. Coming into a seated position, whichever one you find comfortable. Option is to get a block underneath your pelvis as well, or not. We're going to strengthen the shoulder girdle. Let's see what everyone's endurance is like. A bit of fun, a bit of failure, a bit of heaviness in the shoulders. So make sure you're untucking your pelvis so you're not like that, sitting up tall, chest down. Sorry, chest proud, shoulders down away from ears. Coming out into shoulder height. We're going to start with little arm circles, backwards. And we want to keep them shoulders down away from ears and to sit tall, because you can easily just slump. We don't want to do that. We want to strengthen the deep back and core muscles by keeping up tall. Deep breaths. Get that oxygen to those working muscles. And let's go forwards, or the opposite of what you were doing. Good. And then in about 5 seconds, we're going to pulse backwards. 5, 4, 2, 1, and pulse. So we want your shoulder blades to touch each other to work the back of the shoulders and tone the upper back as well. Chest proud. 10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Rest for a few seconds or back to reverse. So shake off your arms if you need to rest. And then when the burning subsides, get back into it if you can. And forward. Good. And back. Pulse. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest or last time. It's burning. That's how we know now. Getting stronger. Burn, burn, burn. The shoulders are the weakest joint in the body. Even though it's a ball and socket, it's a not very deep one. So we rely on our fibrous tissues to support it. And forward circles. Oh, where's it burning? Is it burning equally? Smile, pretend it's not painful for YouTube. And backwards. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done, well done. Those shoulder circles backwards as we just stretch that off. Well done. That was tough. Still feeling it. You can grab a drink. Oof, if you can reach the bottle. A few seconds rest. Okay, next we're going to be on our sides. So to make it harder, you want your legs out. To make it a little bit easier, legs in. I think I'm going to make it a bit easier for myself. Hands facing forward. So you want your elbows pointing to the back of the room here. Shoulders down away from ears, chest proud. We're just going to bend a pulse at the tricep, back of the arm. We're isolating the bingo wings or back of the arm. Good. So try and tune in where you want to feel it. So notice you shouldn't be feeling any pain in your wrists at all. You should start to feel a burning or cramping in the back of the arm. That's how you know you're toning and working. So I want you to straighten your arm, but you're always leaving a slight bend in the elbow. So don't ever want to work the joint. You should feel it just above the elbow. You can use your core muscles to bring you up as well if it's getting difficult. Let's get another 10 if you can. 9, 8, 7, then rest. 5, good. So it's a bit like a tricep dip. Well, it is a tricep dip. 4, 3, burn, burn, burn. 2, it should be painful on the joint, 1 more. Oh, shake that off. Good. So just shake off your arms. I'm going to go in again for another 20 or 10 or 15, just anything. And then if you need to split it up and then go back in, that's how we build the muscle and strength. Hopefully in the morning when you extend your arm, you feel a little bit of, muscle aches tomorrow. Shoulders down away from ears. Let's go. Maximum 20. Minimum whatever you've got. I'm already feeling it. The key is to just ignore that burning. It's just lactic acid. Oh. 10, shake off if you need to, and then back into it. It's not a big deal. Just need to get comfortable with failing. 4, another 7, 6, 5. Why am I so heavy? 4, 3, 2 more. 1 more, let it burn. Well done. Simple yet effective. Back into the seated position. Grab a drink if you want one, just to break it up and have a little rest. So we've worked the medial and posterior delts, the shoulders. We're going to tune in. We've done a little bit on the push-ups, the anterior shoulder, but we're going to do some more isolation now. Okay. Arms come to shoulder height, shoulders down away from ears, and we're just going to paddle the arms. So leading with the shoulders, so you're not like that with the elbows, just nice and straight. And pin your shoulder blades together as well, so you're not rounding just like I was there. It's hard to get out of these habits. Deep breaths, and eventually you'll start to feel a burning sensation in the shoulders at the front. Another 20, and then we're going to hold it. So notice where you're feeling this. It might be the upper back as well. 10, 9, 8. Oh, I'm watching you. 3, 2, 1, and hold. Deep breaths. Five, 4, 2, 1. Good. Shake off. I'm going to do that once more before we move on. Back into the position when you're ready. Paddles, going for 30. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 5, burn 4, 3, 2, rest or hold for 10, 9, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Well done. Excellent. Now isolate the back next, and we'll be interested as well to see how your shoulders respond because they are fatigued. We've pre-exhausted them through them exercises, and now we're going to be working the shoulders not in isolation but with other muscle groups. So I'm going to come into the downward dog, so a lot on the shoulder here. So notice how your shoulder girdle feels. Is it burning already? We're building this strength. And a hold, and you can paddle your feet as well if that feels good. More bending at the knee. This is a tough one. I like the stretch in your lower back. And you can bend more at the knee if that's more comfortable for you. If you need to come in and out of it, that's absolutely fine. Deep breaths. And then we'll come back down into a cat-cow, untucking the toes. Angry cat, and lightening the load of the shoulders. Make sure your palms are always directly under your shoulders to protect your wrists. Looking for 5. When you're ready, tuck those toes under and rise. So a bend in the knee to make it a bit easier. And you can paddle them feet so it's a nice stretch in the calves and Achilles. 10 pulses or a couple more breaths. You might feel your shoulders shaking, that's all normal. As you begin fatigue. 3, 2, 1, good. Cat-cow, I was definitely feeling my shoulders there. Good. When you're ready, make your way down onto the floor as we isolate these muscles in the back. Now we've warmed them up a bit more. So we're going to start with dorsal raises. So elbows to the back of the room as you're lifting yourself up off the floor with control coming down. To make it easier, you can keep your feet on the floor, or if you're happy to bring them up as high as you can, you're loading that lower back more. Now we've done a little bit of work on the back of the shoulder here. So you might start to feel a bit of fatigue, a bit of burning in the back of the shoulder. Take note of where you're feeling this. It should be predominantly lower back, maybe upper back if you need to improve on your posture. And you're squeezing your elbows together, as far together as you can, coming down with control. But yeah, take note where you're burning or fatiguing fast, because that's where your weaknesses are. Is it on one side more than the other, or is it evenly? Another 10 if you can. Exhale, coming down. Last 3. Good. Carefully coming up into child's pose for a nice stretch in that lower back. Take your time getting into this position. Might be a bit stiff. Exhale. Yeah, again, coming back down to that same position. So you can do the exact same for another 15, 20, as many as you feel comfortable with. Or you can make it more difficult and bring your arms out to the side. This time, when you're coming up, push your hands behind you as much as possible. You're working the back of that shoulder, like so, slowly coming down. As many reps as you feel comfortable with, as long as you get a little bit of a burning sensation. It's not painful, it's just uncomfortable. And we're loading that upper back more as well. And try to start to enjoy that sensation, because it's a good one, getting used to how it feels. It'll bring you some endorphins. Another 5 if you can. 1 more. Good. Taking your time because you'll be a bit tight. Child's pose. Feel free to grab a drink. I'm going to be in the cat-cow position, or the box position next. But this time we're going to play around with time and attention again. We thread the needle. So you're going to thread the needle, so bend in at the stabilising arm. And as you head over the other side, you're going to pulse 1, pulse 2, pulse 3 for the back of the shoulder again, and then thread. I'm going to do that a total of 8 times, okay? Again, start off with a small range of movement. And if you find that too difficult, feel free to just pulse once or twice. 2. Good. Looking at your hand, so your spine will follow as you're turning around. Halfway, another 4 if you can. You can really feel that get deep in that lower back. One more. And then on the last one, just going to hold that, thread the needle into a stretch. Extend our arm overhead. I want you to just sink in so that threaded arms just relaxed on the floor. And try and sink into the mat. Let go of your tension, and hopefully you'll start to feel it in your lower back, that little stretch. Good. Take your time coming out of that position. I'm going to do the other side now and let's see how that feels. Let's throw the needle for 8. 3 pulse. You can use your stabilising arm to push you around for purchase on the floor a little bit further around if that feels good. Exhale as you're threading that needle. Make sure you stay roughly at shoulder height. Should have said that before now. Another 3. Last one. That's where we'll hold the stretch. Good. Thread. Extend that arm. Try and sink in. Good. Let go of the tension in your back and your core. I feel this like roughly midsection of my back. Every exhale, you sink further into that stretch. Untucking that arm, and feel free to grab a drink. To move on to the back for core work. Okay, I'm going to start with scissors. I like scissors because you're really feeling your biceps as you're coming up and pulling your knee as close to your nose as you can, and then you're swapping over. It's like a bicep curl as well. So again, with the theme of toning our arms, I'm going to do as many as you can, or 20. You're really loading that lower core as well. But don't feel the pressure to do the full 20. As long as you're feeling that burn in your core, maybe your upper leg, which is your hip flexor. That's what we want. And you feel a hamstring stretch as well. It's a nice one for that, your tight hamstrings. 10, 9, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring it in for a hug and roll, side to side. Well done. Coming back into semi-supine, I'm going to bring in those relaxation breaths to relax the fight-flight responses that some of us live in quite a lot. So inhale, arms rise. Pause with full lungs before slowly exhaling. The slower you exhale, the more relaxation you'll get. Inhale. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth for Pilates. Inhale. Creating space between each rib. Scissors again, like if you can match the reps that you got last time, whatever they were, that would be fab, because you've done it once, you can do it again. Pull in that knee as close to the nose as you can. 4, 10, 12, I can hear all the water in my stomach moving. 4, 3, 2 more, 1 more. Good, back into semi-supine. Inhale, arms rise. Pause with those full lungs. Breath retention before slowly exhaling for 4 through the mouth. Another 4 like that. Pushing the abs, the belly out on the inhale. Bracing it on the exhale. Good, let's get a burn going, bigger burn. So one knee stays up into tabletop, others extended. As this one comes up, you're going to meet it with a crunch and slowly come down again. We want your back to stay flat against the floor. So only go down as far as that happens. If your back starts to lift whilst you're touching the floor, don't come all the way down. Going for 10 to 12 each side. 5. Exhale, coming up. Another 4 if you can. The slower you do it, the harder it's going to be. More toning and strength and muscle. If you get your protein, 1 more. And we'll split this up with some breath work. Inhale, arms rise. Notice how your breath feels in your body and try and concentrate on that. Keeps you present and slows everything down around you. Another 2. That feels good. Over to the other side now. When you're ready, looking for 10 to 12 on this side. Couple more if you can. Excellent. When you finish last rep, inhale with the arms rising. I always like to use the arms with breath work because it sets the pace. Helps open the chest up. One more. Okay. Legs up into tabletop, arms extended, and we're going to lead with your upper as we pulse A bit of a 100 Pilates exercise, you might have seen it before. So I'm going to pulse and deep breaths. As many as you can, leading with the shoulders. As many as you can, or 15. You're burning with that upper core. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, well done. Burning. Inhale, arms rise. Do that again, as many as you can, or 15. Arms extended. Try and lead with your chest, not your neck. Although you are building neck muscles as well. Last 5, 4, good. 3, 2 more. Well done. Inhale, arms rise. Into stretching now. Good. I'm going to bring our feet together and carefully take time, bring your knees out to the side. If this isn't comfortable for you or you don't like this exercise position, you can do book openings, knees together over to one side, and you're going to look the opposite side. I'm going to be going into that position next. So be aware of your neutral spine if you're in this position. And just try and relax, because there's some tiny muscles like fibers will tense up to protect the muscle from getting too deep a stretch. So deep breaths, and you can feel the release ever so slightly as you become a dead weight and sink in. So now hold that. I don't do much of this. And notice if you feel it on one side of your groin more than the other. Because if you're tight on one side, it can mean that you're tight on parts of your back as well, and piriformis, hip flexors. Carefully bringing your knees back together. Pushing your hips over to the right and your knees coming over to the left for book openings. Now, the goal is for your hips to be stacked and your knees to be stacked and both of your shoulders on the mat. So try your best to get into that position, and then if that feels okay, you can go and increase the stretch. And you can increase the stretch by holding the back of your top leg and just relaxing that arm. And to add more load for the lower back twist, you can extend that top leg, so straightening it out. So allow yourself to sink in again. So you might feel at first that your upper back, that shoulder on the opposite side, what you're twisting isn't on the floor yet. Actively try and switch off the shoulder muscles if they might to be tensed up ever so slightly. Every exhale, allowing yourself to feel that stretch a little bit more. And notice where you're feeling it as well, so you can compare when we turn over. So inhale, pushing the belly out, we'll push you out with that stretch ever so slightly, and then on the exhale, moving, not forcing it, we're just sinking, a dead weight. Kind of pretending that you're asleep. It's a really nice one, this, for if you've got sciatica or any back issues, if you're able to get into it. Unhooking that leg, carefully taking your time, coming out of that twist. Back to semi-supine for a couple of seconds, so for like a reset. And then pushing your hips over to the left, knees over to the right. Stacking the hips, shoulder on the floor, and just settle in that position before increasing the stretch. Deep breaths. If that feels okay, you can increase the stretch. Hooking that top leg, extending the top leg, and looking over to the left. If this side feels tighter, just be patient with it. Might take longer to release that tension. Unhooking that hand, take your time. Back to semi-supine, reset. Stay here for a couple of seconds, breaths. I'm going to turn over into a prone position next. We want to do some deep stretching in the lower back, hip flexors, the top of the quads, and abs. So this is your starting position. You can put your forehead to your hands. I just want you to settle in this position. This is like a prep position. Just notice how your body feels on the mat. And just allowing your pelvis to sink into the floor. This alone, for some people, they can feel the stretch. I feel it's quite harsh to go straight into a cobra or even a sphinx. Sometimes it's nice just to, we don't do, again, much of this unless we're on a sunbed. Keeping the elbows wide apart, come into a bit of a sphinx position, so you're adding load. So nice wide elbows, and let's just see how that feels on the base of your back. Again, every inhale, pushing your abs out, you're pushing your belly out, will push you away from the mat. Then on the exhale, it'll draw you closer to the mat, and you're able to sink further in. You can really feel it in the deep, deep, deep lower back. It shouldn't be painful. If it is, you've possibly gone too far, so just come down a little bit closer to the mat if so. I'm just going to sit here for the back bend. You might feel your quads, your thighs have tensed up a little bit. Just try and switch them off, just relax them. They're all stress responses. If that feels okay, you can have a more narrow stance in the elbows as you come further up. It's something you can do at home as well. I think it's much nicer getting into this position that way. On the exhale, again, allowing your hips to sink into the mat, feeling that in the base of the back. Carefully taking your time coming back down into the first position, just to remove that back bend and recover. Couple of breaths. I'm going to do a counter next, so coming on back into child's pose. Taking your time, might be a bit stiff or tight from that sphinx. Knees together. Just getting your spine used to bending these ways again. Good. Coming into the seated position for some hamstring stretch. So untucking the pelvis, and we should be coming down as close, like lead with our belly then our chest, so we're not coming straight down like trying to lead with our neck at all. Just going to come as close to the feet as you can, whilst keeping the tailbone untucked, if that makes sense. I hear a lot of yoga and Pilates instructors don't do this right, I've recently learned, and I was one of them. Was tucking the pelvis under, creating a back bend, which you shouldn't do. Exhale, allowing yourself to sink in further. Keeping that pelvis untucked, sitting as tall as you can. Good. Coming out of that, and we're going to finish with some relaxation breath work, pranayama, or you're welcome to do the Pilates breath work. So any seated position, so help promote sleep and relaxation for ready for bed. So you can, or if you don't want to do any breath work, you can just simply sit here and just sit with your body and how it feels right now. So inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth if it's Pilates, or if it's pranayama you're wanting to practice with me, inhale and exhale through the nose. So inhale, sitting tall, pause at the top, breath retention, for slowly exhaling for 4. Inhale, creating space between each rib. Notice how your breath feels in the body. Allowing your belly to inflate as you inhale. So the belly should inflate first, and then the chest and ribs, and then you should reverse it on the exhale if it's yogic breathing you want to practice. So concentrate on that. Thank you for coming tonight. Namaste. Hope you